Welcome to another episode of Definitely Not Therapy. It's definitely not therapy. This week we are talking to DJ Wayne, who is known for his huge DJ sets up and down the country, playing at festivals and I guess parties. As far I don't know if it's kids' parties and stuff, but I think it's more like the adult clubs. But Wayne has really struggled with his mental health throughout his life. He's had real struggles. There's been some real ups, some real downs. And hopefully you guys can listen to Wayne's story and actually hear that, do you know what? Yeah, things can get bad. We've said this time and time again, things can get bad. We can completely fall apart at the seams. Our lives can be on one path. They can be on a trajectory and all of a sudden we're blindsided and we're in another trajectory, no idea where we're going. There's no road. The road's not even there. We're just forging a new road and it's scary. It is really scary, and I can tell you that from experience. But what I can also tell you from experience is when people say to you, time is a healer, you know, all the things that you don't want to hear. It will get easier. Things will get better. Time is a healer. You don't want to hear that in the moment, but they're all true. They are all true. Time is a healer, and you will feel better. And you know what? There's going to be bumps in the road. Just prepare yourself for them. I know there's something niggling in the back of your mind right now, isn't there, where you're trying to concentrate on this podcast, on this very, very good podcast, this very engaging podcast. But you're thinking, I wish we had a new bathroom. I wish we had a new kitchen. I wish we had a new games room. Well, this week's episode of Definitely Not Therapy is sponsored by Bell Trades. We've all been there, haven't we? We've sat there and we thought, right, next job, we'll get the kitchen done. Next job, we'll get the bathroom done. And we just never get round to it. Why do we do that? We never get round to it. Do it. Now is the time. Contact Bell Trades and they can help. It might not cost as much as you think. Bell Trades have a very simple philosophy: to turn your house into a home that you're proud of. Not where you can think, I wish we had a new bathroom. I wish we had a new kitchen. I wish we had a new games room or man cave. Wish our bedroom was nice. Bell Trades don't need to start from scratch. You don't have to have an entire new room. You might be thinking, I just wish this room was finished. They can look at the room and they can see the potential and they can work with you on it. Bell Trades are specialists in bathrooms, kitchens and entire renovations. You will not be disappointed. And if you think, oh, Dan, I really, really, really want it done. I really want to get that bathroom finished. Or I really want to get a new kitchen, but I just haven't got the money. Life's hard at the moment. Life's expensive at the moment. But there are some really, really reasonable finance options available. Go check their website. It's www.belltrades.co.uk. Or why don't you check them out on Instagram? It's at bell__trades. It's a double underscore. On their Instagram page, they've got some great before and after shots. So you can see the work they do. You can see the quality. And the beauty is they cover the entire Southeast London as well as Kent. So if you're one of them people, you're sat there, you're in Southeast London, you're in Kent, you're thinking, oh, my bathroom. I don't like going in there because it stresses me out. www.belltrades.co.uk. Bell Trades have helped me bring my vision to life. My vision of this podcast, they've helped me by sponsoring. Let them help bring your vision to life in your home. Because home isn't just where you live, it's how you live. Get yourself a quote. What have you got to lose, eh? Anyway, let's get back to the podcast, shall we? It's definitely not therapy. DJ Wayne, thanks for joining me on the podcast. I'm not going to call you DJ Wayne the whole time, but I'll just call you Wayne if that's all right.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, thanks for coming onto the podcast. I think it's important I believe everyone's got a story. They've all been, everyone's been through some sort of trauma or some sort of struggle. If you haven't, then you're really lucky. You haven't probably lived, because most people that have lived, they've been through some sort of trauma. So I think for me, when I was struggling, the thing that helped was actually talking to people in a similar situation. The people that I could really relate to were the people in a really similar situation to me. So I think it's important to give people a voice, get people's stories out there, because you know what, there could be someone sat there now thinking, I'm struggling, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. And they might hear someone's story, like yourself or any of the guests that I've had on, and they might think, that was me, or that's me now, or that was me 4 weeks ago. And actually there is light at the end of the tunnel, because I think the thing I used to hear all the time when I was really struggling, when people sort of run out of things to say and they circle back to the same old thing of time is a healer. Everything will be all right. It will work out. And it's all those things you think, no, it won't. Like, because you're not in my head, you don't know. But actually, that is the truth. Like, time is a healer, and it does. And after a certain period of time, things do start to feel easier. I'm not saying there's not bumps in the road, which I'm sure we'll come on to with your journey. But yeah, I think it's just, it's important to share people's stories. And I appreciate you coming on and you know, opening up and talking about your story.
I felt I knew you through the social media, seeing you through lockdown, and then seeing you go through what you went through. I felt a bond because I felt I went, well, not the similar, but almost the same, if it makes sense. So everyone's had trauma. It's how it's triggered and how we manage it. The time is a healer. It's a healer. I don't think it's a healer. I think it's an acceptance. So over a period of time, you then go, I've gone over this 20 times and actually I think I've got to the bottom of the answer. So as much as it is time, it's the amount of time you've overthought things or overheard things or anything else like that. Actually, you'll never get an answer unless you are an instigator of what's happening. So like, for me, my major issue started when I split up with an ex. Not that that was the sole cause of the problems. Yeah, that wasn't the sole cause of the problems, but I thought it was. Yeah. If it makes sense. But that was my trigger.
What, from previous situations or?
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, for me, I actually think it started when I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you was literally a child.
And it's from my mum and dad splitting up when I was a kid. But you don't, you know, you as a kid, you just go through these motions and it's happened and things like that. So, and it's a long thing for me. Like, it's taken me a long time to go. Initially, when my mental health issues really kicked in was because of splitting up with my partner.
Okay.
You know, it was like a fucking bolt out of the blue. Truthfully, I was literally just told, can't do this no more, it's over. 2 days before Christmas. Like, fuck, what the hell do I do?
So this is probably why, because we'd shared a couple of, we've got some mutual friends, and we bumped into each other at a festival, Goat Fest. We sort of, because we'd had a couple of conversations, I feel like, and I've said this in the intro, I think we sort of had that bond because I feel like we both experienced a similar thing, which I've obviously spoken about, been open about mine. It was the same sort of thing, but I bolt out of the blue 6 weeks after a marriage, and then it's like, oh, it's done, that's over. And it's like, it sounds like the same thing, which I actually didn't, I don't know if I knew how extreme it was for you, because you was more, I was in a really bad place when we met. So I think you were more kind of trying to show support to me, which is really kind of you to do.
I was 6 years in. I was 6 years past it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't as raw. I knew you was raw. I see your social media and I was like, that's raw. And that's where I felt it. You know, we said hello, and I saw you backstage just trying to, from what other word, pull yourself together, because I knew you wanted to do that. You were doing the comedy stage, and I could see you were just like, I can't do this. I just can't front people. And I've been there.
I was struggling. Well, funny enough, I've not spoken about that day. So I made a video about that particular day, and then I've kind of left it, because what had happened was I was booked to do stand-up comedy, and I was really getting myself into a place where I was trying to get my confidence back. Because the biggest thing for me, and I don't want to make this episode about me, because this is about you, Wayne, but just like,
no, but it's about both of us, because we learn from each other's experiences.
Yeah, hopefully, definitely. And I think at that time in my life, I was probably and you touched on it a second ago, where you said, like, time isn't necessarily a healer, but you just, over time, things get easier for you to process. But also, actually, over time, you just become a better actor as well. I think time, it does get easier, but maybe for all types of different reasons. For me, it was like not being in the public eye, because that sounds like cringy, because I'm not, but being out there and you post yourself out there, it's like people have to have this perception of you. And I didn't want them to have a perception that, oh, I'm still crying on the internet and I'm still sad about it. So I was kind of thinking and convincing myself I'm in a better place. I've got my confidence back. And then I was booked to do stand-up comedy. and we'd written a really good. I liked it anyway, and some friends that I showed, they was like, it's funny, it's really good. You were like, I think you'd be good at it. And then the day come round, and something had happened, which I won't talk about, but just one little thing, and it got in my head. It got in my head, and you saw me pacing up and down, and I was pacing up and down because I was like, the pressure, I've got to go on and do this in like half an hour. There's a crowd building. It was also, I was told there was going to be like 10 people there, and there was like 250 people turned up, which is silly me for putting it on my social media. Like, fine, that's my own fault. But I started just getting in my own head about stuff. Yeah. And that's when I think we bumped into each other, and I was just like, I just can't do this. And I was just that whole weekend was ruined for me because I feel like I'd let people down. I'd let myself down. I'd let other people down. And yeah, it was hard. I think I went on and I actually recorded. It was cringy. I shouldn't have done it, but I sort of I was so proud of it, but I just wasn't brave enough to do it to a crowd. So I just recorded it myself and posted it online, which actually I posted it to Facebook and everyone absolutely loved it. So much positivity. Yeah. Posted it to TikTok and everyone was like, what a twat, what are you doing? And it was like so two ends, and I was like, what? I don't.
That's different audiences, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like the Facebook is an older audience, we know that. TikTok, Instagram, they're the younger audience, and they're not experienced. They're not life experiences like that. You know what I mean?
It's just good. The girl quick scrolling, and I think Facebook, I've built such a loyal following, so it was nice that and even if everyone of my followers hated it, they thought I was too fragile to tell me that, so they were just nice about it. But yeah, so we then bumped into each other, and that's when we had a bit of a chat. I think you was DJing, you was just backstage, or you was just about to go on. I was like, just about to go on.
Friday night, wasn't it? So I was running the stage, managing the stage there, and obviously always backstage. So when I see you pacing up and down, I instantly, don't know, was it not felt sorry for you, but I automatically felt I've been there. Do you know what I mean? I've been in that position, and I can almost see that you're going through something that you just need to release, or you can't suck it up. You have to go, oops, dear. So that's why I reached out to you when you were there, because I just thought, you know what? And I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to upset anybody, if it makes sense. Like, when I do the festivals, be it even if it was someone's garden, I want to give them the best that I can provide, and probably more. They can pay for X, or they want this, and I will go above and beyond. So if I only want 2 speakers, I'll put I did one recently, a garden party, a 60th birthday in a garden. All they wanted was background music, but I took my equipment and I said to the person whose party it was, have you got grandkids or kids coming? He was like, oh, there's going to be a couple. So I took my bubble machine. No, that's chargeable extra, but I knew the kids wanted something in the garden. So I put that in, I do that. And I will do it. I'll go above and beyond I want to do everything at the best of my ability. I always have done. You know what I mean? And that's where we start, and that's where my issues started when I split up with my ex-partner.
So what age would you? So you said obviously when you were 6, because this is a like a thing for me where, and I've never said this out loud, but it's a fairly obvious thing. But obviously, splitting up, and I've got Harper was 3, now she's 4, she's going to be 5 in like 2 weeks. It's scary. Like, it's scary, but also how does it affect her? And obviously we try and co-parent as best as we can, but I struggle with it, I'll be honest. Like I do struggle because I don't want to share it with anyone.
My parents split up when I was 6, and I got moved out of London with my mum to Stevenage to an auntie's. That's what happens. Do you know what I mean? So that didn't affect me. I don't think that affected me. What affected me was, and I look at it now, and it's only really now that because obviously I went through what I went through, and I've tried to almost open myself up. I've been to counsellors, and truthfully, I think they're a waste of time, because they can only do what you tell them. So if you're not actually opening up to them, they can't really, it's an opinion, isn't it? Like what's the qualification as a counsellor? It's not, it's an opinion. And I've had that opinion from a lot of people I've spoken to, but never spoken about pre my separation, if it makes sense. And it's only since then other things have happened that I've then gone, actually, do you know what? When I look back, I've probably been a train wreck for my whole life.
Oh,
Literally
really?
just ready to happen. Yeah, just ready, because quick summarize, my parents split up, my mum, my dad split up, me and my brother with my mum. Over the course of a period of time, social services get involved with the separation, this, that, and the other. Suddenly, my brother's living with my dad, and I'm living with my mum now.
Oh, wow.
For me, I look at this and I go, whoever separates siblings?
Yeah, that's mad. But was that just a different time? Is that just what they did back then?
Exactly that. I don't know. I mean, I can actually remember this. I've got a good memory, and I actually do remember a conversation saying why, and I must have only been 6, and I just remember it. And my brother didn't want to be in Stevenage, so he wanted to be back in London with my dad because he's 3 years older.
I was going to say, is he an older brother? So he might have been given that choice.
I think he was like, no, I want to be there with my friends and family, my dad, and so then they made, I'll do that. So, but subconsciously, I don't think that affected me, but it clearly did, because everybody, if you've got a sibling, you need a bond.
Yeah. And
this is where, I mean, it's such a weird, long-winded story, but I can refer back to that with issues later on. So and then I've moved to an auntie's, and then my mum's met someone else, moved in with him. He had a son and a daughter the same age as me, but truthfully, we got on, but we didn't get on, if it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Then you have a clash. Right?
You sort of had to get on because of that was the situation you were thrown in.
And then they split up. So then suddenly I've had an original family, another family. Now that family's not there. And by that point, I've almost got to, I'm self-sufficient. I had a stepdad, but we're truthful, we weren't fucking stepdad. He was just a bloke in the house because he never felt like a dad to me.
Yeah.
The problem I also had is my dad never felt like a dad to me, because I just felt that he almost used me as a pawn, if it makes sense. I remember I used to go down every other weekend, and don't get me wrong, I know of an occasion where he didn't have enough money to get a return train fare, so he walked from North London to Stevenage, to Hitchin.
Wow.
To meet me at the train station because he can afford a ticket to get home. So he cared.
Yeah.
But, and this is something that I've never really spoken to anybody about, my dad never had a father figure. So
right.
I don't think he knew how to be a father, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't unintentional. I don't think he did it unintentionally, but I think then as a dad, he met someone else, had another child, son, and he's my half brother, and we get on. Well, we haven't spoken for a while for some reason, but that's just I then become self-sufficient. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very, very young age. So through teenage years, I was self-sufficient. I never put anything on my mum because I didn't feel that. Do you know what I mean? It's just I think I just become quite compartmentalized on myself.
So what sort of age were you when you started to feel like that? When you had the conscious thought of, I'm basically self-sufficient now?
I think that was probably around the early teenage years. If something needed doing, I'd do it. I'm quite practical, so if something was broken, I'd take it apart.
But that's young. That's a young age to have to feel that, though.
Yeah, and I don't think it wasn't put on me. But I just think it was like, mum's going to work, mum's got a new husband, new family, this, that, and I live in the family. We didn't not get on, but we didn't, there was no bond there. So it was almost like single child. I did see my brother, but when it comes to the early teenage years, obviously, there's a different development. And there is a different development. You grow up in London, you're a little bit more independent. So my brother's got jobs on the market stalls at 13, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd go down there, he'd be working. I didn't get days with him. I just got kind of hours with him or whatever it is. So then I kind of did the same thing. Because it was like, well, mum's working. Mum really can't afford everything. I didn't live in poverty. I wasn't fucking hard done by, but I kind of saw a lifestyle. My brother was earning his income at a young age. So he was buying the nice designer trainers, and I'm getting like, mum's buying me trainers, but it's 30 quid. That's your limit. And it's like, yeah, right, okay, so I'm getting the job. I had paper rounds. I worked in shops. I did a market stall for a period of time. So I've always done it. Like now, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So
that's my body.
So it gave you a drive. It gave you a drive and an ambition because you had to. Well, you didn't have to because, like you say, it wasn't put on you. But you saw, I guess, your brother. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounded like how you describe that. Then he sort of become not the father figure, but the person you sort of looked up to think, oh, he's the male figure that I want to be like, and that become your brother rather than anyone else.
Yeah, he's got his life, and he wasn't. I'll say he's only 2 years older than me, but he had cash in his pocket.
Yeah,
and let's be truthful. You've got your designer jackets, you've got your trainers, you've got this, you've got that. As a kid, that's what you want. You want to be with the other, and that's what it was. So I got a job, I worked, I did this. Go down and see them whenever I could. By the time I was 14. I wasn't doing the access visits, so once every month or whatever. I've had a Saturday off, I'll get the train and go down and see him.
Yeah.
See my brother, see my dad for an hour, see my half brother for an hour or two, get the train, get home again. But then that's teenage years. We all do that. Once you become a teenager, you're independent, aren't you? So,
well, that's it. Yeah. And then you can make your own choices of when you want to see.
I just think I was a lot more independent early on compared to how others are. Do you know what I mean? And that's the way I've become. So by that point, I think that then made me, through the schooling age and this, that, and the other, I was me. And very much, you accept me, you don't accept me. I really couldn't give a monkeys. I had this conversation the other day. I can truthfully say I don't think I've ever had a best friend.
Oh, really?
Which is the weirdest thing. I've got some real good close friends, but I haven't got a friend from school age that I would go, thank you very much, like lean on.
Well, you probably never really had a support network that.
No. So
because you are your own support network.
Yeah, and that's how I become, and it's so deep rooted in me. And this is where now, like when I messaged you the other day because I knew there was something wrong with you, and you replied, "You good?" and I gave you that answer of, "Well, do you want the man answer or do you want the truthful answer?"
Yeah,
because I can tell you, I'm fine. But actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But
that's why I replied and said, always the truthful answer, always the truth, because I've been there, and we're men. That's what you need. Yeah, and it's so easy, and I've done it even recently where a mate has said, "Are you all right?" and I'll be like, "Yeah," but I'm not.
Well, I've known it with you, and I've seen stuff, and I message you, and you send one back going, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, I know you're fucking not." Yeah, but what I'll do is I'll just pull back a little bit. Because I know you've got others there and you've got the two, do you know what I mean? Al Scully and that. Yeah. So, but it's also having that extra option, if it makes sense. And you don't have to open your heart out to me. But I also think on that front that as men, and we are brought up as Neanderthals, we're still cavemen, whether we pretend we're not. And, we want to be that provider. And we also don't want to be having help. And the whole, and this is what this is all about, men's mental health. That whole men's mental health thing, good to talk. Actually, do you know what? Sometimes, no, I don't want to fucking talk. Yeah. But what I want to know is there is someone there if I want to talk.
That's the big thing. Yeah, that's the big thing.
And that's what affected me a lot, where I felt lonely. As a kid, I felt lonely because I didn't think I had anyone I could speak to. And this is where I say I look back at it now and I look at it and you think, if I had my brother or sister, my brother that was close to me, I'd have been like, let's talk. But we didn't have a bond. I didn't have a brother bond. Yeah. I saw him once a month. You know what I mean? Like once a month, once every 3 weeks. So it's important that siblings have a bond.
I think so. I mean, look, and this is what I will say. We grew up in a different time, and this has come up a couple of times on the podcast because a lot of the guys that I'm speaking to are of our generation, like in their 40s. Well, I'm in my 40s. I don't know about you, but I'm in my... You're just in your 40s?
21, Dad.
21. Well, I didn't know if he was like, but 40, in our 40s. And we were...
46.
We were... Okay, so we're similar age, but we were brought up just in a different world. And we're now... And you said it earlier about your dad, he didn't have a father figure. But it's like, us that did have a father figure, well... you replicate how you've been brought up, but we can't do that as 40-odd-year-old men. We can't replicate how we were brought up, because you can't do that now.
No.
You can't.
No,
it's
but
a different style. So you have to break that mold. Then you have to be different. You're told man up, just get on with it. But then also, it's not about man up and get on with it, because we're asked different things of us now. It's not just, right, we go out all day, go to work, bring the money home. Men and women go out and earn equal pay for the most part, and then we come home and we all do our equal chores. So a lot of stuff has to change because we're told we have to change, but then we're not allowed to talk up. We're like just told, no, man up, men have to be men. Like, pick your, what side are we? We're so confused.
Yeah, and that is the problem. That is the problem. There is no, like, man up, speak up. Actually, no, don't. No, you need to be the man. You need to be the one that you need. And it's still, even though I get the, it's, we both go out to work. In a relationship, you go out to work, you do this, you do this. Now, when I was with my ex-partner, she didn't, because, I'll be truthful, I'm an electrician, right? And I could earn more on a Saturday morning than what she would do with what she was doing in 2 days.
Yeah.
So when we were together, like I've got 5 daughters. So, she was the mum. She looked after the kids. She did what she did with the kids. She did have a couple of little jobs little paying things where she worked at a stable yard because she had horses and bits and pieces, and they were the kids' hobbies. And so, but I was the main breadwinner. And I don't have a problem with that because I could go out and do more, do you know what I mean? And give us a good living. So there was never a problem with that. But this is then when we split up, I then had a rude awakening. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, actually, you had been the same. You split up. You want to be the best dad there is in the world. I wanted to be the best dad in the world when we were together. Yeah. But I was also trying to do the breadwinning and also trying to do this. So subconsciously probably felt that because I was paying towards majority of everything, she did the stuff for the kids and I was earning, but actually you're not being a dad in that front. You're being a cash machine. You're just being you're just providing money. It was hard, and I still beat myself up now regarding issues with my kids. Because I've got 5 daughters, 3 don't talk to me. Oh wow. I can't even imagine how, like, that for me genuinely is like one of my biggest fears, and it's like, I question myself all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Should I do that? Like, there's so many things. What I said to you the other day, didn't I? When you said, "Oh no," and I said, "Yeah, but Dan, you got to remember, if you and Lucy were still together, you wouldn't be with Harper all the time." No, because But as soon as you become separated, you're like, I need to be the best dad. I need to do this. I need to do that. You forget about yourself. And that's where I've let myself down, because the last 18 months, not so much in the last 3 or 4 months, I've started to look after myself. I've started, going to the gym, just being aware that actually, I do need to look after myself a bit more, because I do want to be around for Harper. Of course, I want to be around for her for as long as I possibly can. But it is very much you when you break up, it's. I had this pressure of, like, everything that I did was for my girls, was for my little family, earning the money so that we could go on holiday. And it wasn't, I'm not saying every single thing that we did was all me, but all the ideas are from my brain. I've got books and books and books. It was me coming up with ideas, me staying up till late, me doing this, me planning. Yeah. So, but then all of a sudden you break up and it's like, we'll just go and get a job. Go and get a job. We'll just go and get a job. It's like, well, hang on a minute. It's like, a lost world. This was good enough for everyone a minute ago, and now it's not. And it's like, so you have that pressure. But what does a good dad look like these days? Is it, well, just go out and get a job, don't ever see you? And listen, I know that some parents, mums and dads, have to go out and work, and they have to have child carers, and I understand that. I'm very grateful that I do get time with her. Yeah, and that's what I had. Like, my oldest daughter, biologically, she's not mine. Okay, it was my ex when we first got together. How old was she when you and your ex got together? Toddler. Right. So she is mine. Biologically, she's not. She's mine. At 13, I think it was. She was either 12 or 13, and I'm going to get emotional. I know I'm going to, and I knew this was coming, but I don't care, because I don't think it's wrong. Like when you had your issue and you said you cried on the internet, mate, bollocks. That's a man. Yeah, that's a man. A man that's in touch with his emotions And I don't show emotions at all. Like I'm a fucking nightmare. I do it on my own. Do you know what I mean? I'll do it in the car and I'll have a little tear and that's it. But I took Charlie on when she was 12. I think it must have been around about 12. There was an issue at school when a girl had said to her, he's not your dad. And she actually asked me for my surname.
So she didn't know. So she didn't know this before.
I don't know if she knew. Yeah, I don't know if she did know because it was comforting that I've been there since she was so little. Her dad is completely off the scene. Like, right. So she's my daughter. Like, she's my daughter.
Yeah.
And that is like, it still rings true to me now. I remember where we were sitting on the bed when she asked me, and I've got the tears now. And it was one of the happiest moments of my fucking life, mate. Like, and now that girl hasn't spoken to me in 7 years.
Really?
And it's changed her name back to her mum's. You know, she's taken my name off of her surname. They all had double barrel surnames. And that hurts me. That hurts me. But then I also know, like, there was issues with Charlie. She, you know, she's had a couple of illnesses. Well, she's got long-term illness. She's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and a couple of other bits. And she was in and out of hospital. She'd have seizures, blackouts where she would just completely black out. Her body would spasm into shapes and you couldn't move her.
Oh my God. That must have been terrifying.
Medical treatment. Like, I remember an occasion where all the paramedics to come out and they actually sent for the air ambulance just because the only medication that could get her out of these spasms was carried by the air ambulance and specialist crash. They never, because fortunately, they managed to get her to come round, and her body came out of spasms, so they could get her out of where she was onto a bed and out of the house. But and this eats me up, and I have written this letter to her. Like, all my kids have got different stories, but with Charlie, I feel like I was a shit dad, right? Because when she was in hospital, I didn't go.
Oh, really?
I didn't go, and I didn't go because I'm selfish. And that's not, you know, I'm proud to, not proud to admit it, but I'm not ashamed to admit I was selfish. I didn't want to see her in a hospital bed. Going back to that Neanderthal man thing where I can't do fuck all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't do hospitals anyway, but then to know that she's in there and you've got no input over it. So I almost went, deal with it. You know, let my ex deal with it. I'll stay home and look after the kids. I shouldn't have been. I should have been there. But I can't retract that. And I've written it to her and told her that. But obviously, with what happened with her mum and us separating, she's just, I don't know what was said to her in her ear or whatever, but she just instantly disowned me within fucking probably 5-6 weeks.
What, of the separation, she disowned you?
Yeah. It was
but since she come out of hospital,
she was in and out, mate. She did in and out. She went, you know. It's hard. She lived with her nan across the road from us because so many kids in the house, and obviously they had a spare room, and it was easier for her to be managed this way. Yeah. And again, that you should, I don't know, parents, you shouldn't do that. We thought it was the best for the whole family because it gave her a dedicated space, and I couldn't be any prouder of that girl, to be honest with you, because she's managed to battle through all of her illnesses, all of her appointments, and everything else. Been to university, got herself a law degree.
Wow.
You know. And I've had no input into that, nothing, because this is towards the end of our relationship and then afterwards, and it hurts. I know the things she's been up to. She's been an advocate, you know. She's been on freaking. It was either this morning or something like that as an advocate for something for disabilities and being able to study. So, yeah. And even when people say to me now, I've got 5 daughters. I've got 5 daughters. Like, she's my daughter. Whether we haven't spoken in 7 years, whether she's disowned me. She's my daughter.
Well, ultimately, you were there when she was young and you brought her up. So she's never gonna get anyone else. You can't just go back in time and change that. But ultimately, it's so hard because I hear this story so often with not this exact situation, but where a dad has to say, well, now my job as a dad is to stand back and she'll come back to me when she's ready. And you know what? Why they're so hard though? Like, I don't know.
And this is what I get. This is like what I said to you the other, like, we had a quick chat the other day. I'm bored of people saying to me, like with the other two, they'll come round.
It's definitely not therapy.
Charlie's the oldest. Jade is my second oldest, and there's Jasmine, who's one of my twins. Again, Jade, very shortly after we separated, decided to disown, to have nothing to do with me due to other reasons as well. And I understand, you know, after I separated my ex 6 weeks later, I tried to commit suicide.
Right.
And it was I just got, the world got on top of me.
Yeah.
And the whole, I'm a shit dad. And also having my children, you know, I weren't seeing them. You're not seeing them today. You're not that. And I understand, because I was a train wreck. I was a mess. I didn't know where I was coming, going, you know, lost.
It's the biggest reason that men die by suicide in this.
Yeah.
I mean, men die by.
When I did it, Jade has seen me.
Ah.
Yeah. Jade has seen me on the floor with paramedics around me. And I can't take that memory away from her. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Mate.
I just need my kids to know that I'm there for them. Yeah. And that's it. She was like my little best mate.
Yeah.
The bond I had with Jade was ridiculous. Like, she played football. She played football for Spurs ladies. And,
wow,
you know, we were doing 4 trips a week into London.
Yeah.
To train. I was lucky because I was also a goalkeeping coach. So the bond that we had was ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd be everywhere. We'd been to St George's Park for court tournaments, you know, in the Home of England training centre. We almost had our own parking space there. We spent like 2 summers in and out of there with tournaments. She'd been to Holland to train with like Hans Sagers and bits and pieces. So we had that bond. We'd sit in the car on the van on the way to football, and she'd tell me things like she was talking to her best mate.
Yeah. Which is what any dad would want with his little girl.
Yeah. And that's how I've always been with my kids. Like, I don't want to be a dad. I want to be a dad, but I want them to know that, you know, what you do has consequences.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bollock you. I'm just going to educate you into why. If I don't want you to do something, I'll tell you no.
Yeah, I'd much rather, and it's difficult because I was brought up differently, but like, I think I would much rather, and I know people now that have got parents who are very, and I'm not saying my parents aren't like this, but it was just a different time. But the point is, I know people now that have got parents who are very open and very like best friends with their kids. So actually, do you know what? If your child, if they got in trouble, they could phone for help. Not knowing they're going to say, right, what are you doing that for? You shouldn't have done that. Like, you're in big trouble. It's more like, right, where are you? What can I do to help? We'll deal with it after. And that's exactly what I would want for Harper.
Even now, Dan, like with the 3, like, they could phone me at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. If I was in the middle of a DJ set or this, that, and the other,
it's good. Yeah, it's done. Shut it down. That's it. Yeah.
Plug and go.
Yeah.
If they message me, Dad, I need you, I'm there.
Yeah. But that's because you're a proud dad. It's good that you're a proud dad. I think it's terrible what you went through, and the fact that you got to the point where you didn't want to be here anymore. That's hard to hear, and I think it's would have never been your intention, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Wayne, but it would never have been your intention for anyone to have seen you in that situation, especially you know, one of your girls. It's unfortunate that that's happened, but I think it's very difficult to understand unless you're in that mindset, because you have to put yourself in a situation where you think no one cares anyway, cares anyway. So that's how we can do it. And the fact is, so anyone that's sat there now thinking no one cares, so it doesn't matter, like, so many people care. Like, even if you're sat there and you've got someone will care, and it's so silly.
That dark hole you're in. And the problem is, I've gone from, you know, having the house, the family, the kids, the this, at a time of year, Christmas, 2 days before Christmas, to be told, I can't do this anymore. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay somewhere. And I said, no, you're not going to stay nowhere. I'll go because I've got somewhere I can go, whereas you really haven't. Probably I should have never fucking done that. But
that's because as men, sorry to interrupt you, but that's as men what we're told to do. But
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, whoa, I'm Spartan. And so I did that. And then suddenly I've gone from having, you know, the 3-bedroom house, the kids around me, although they're annoyed the shit out of you making noise and you want that bit of peace, to then being on the bed in my mum's spare room. And what probably doesn't help it was also across the road from my house. Like,
so you got to see, yeah.
And then, like I say, that was just fucking time. I had 2 years of just battling constant. Like, I get it, and I'm not going to badmouth my ex because she made a decision. What instigated that decision is never ever been given. I've never been told the truth. I still find out now some of the things I get accused of. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck my life. Like, all I ever wanted to do is work us out to make sure that the kid, and if we weren't going to work out, then I'm going to make sure that the kids are good. Like, we've got to both co-parent, but there was no co-parenting, if it makes sense. It was very much.
So it's just shut down, and that's it.
I'm now the parent. You're going to get told you can have them when you can have them, when if.
Yeah.
So,
and it's very easy. And again, I don't want to cause with anyone that's listening to this like a big thing, but I can only base it on other people's stories that I get told, not my own circumstances, but. It's very easy for a woman to turn around and say, no, you leave the house. No, I'm having the kids. They have all the power when it comes to the kids. And I think men are told not to use them as pawns, but it's men that have to spend thousands of pounds at court to just see their own kids. And it's fucking disgusting.
I have not done that. I've just gone, okay.
Yeah.
I've never argued. I've never gone... You know, you can have them every other weekend and you can have them 2 nights a week. They're not staying. They can stay at the weekend. Then suddenly, they're not coming tonight. We're going to so-and-so's house.
Oh, well, okay. This
is not having them this weekend.
This is part of them getting older, though.
I booked a trip to somewhere. I'm like, this was when they were younger.
Okay.
This was, I was being told, you know, you're not having them this weekend because I've booked a trip for them to go to so-and-so. Well, why didn't you book that trip on the weekend you've got them?
Yeah,
because it was all done but even down to being told after Christmas, oh yeah, you're not having the girls for the next 4 days because they're in Disneyland.
It's all dictated. Right, okay. It's all dictated to you.
So they've left the country. They're now in Euro Disney, and you're deciding to tell me I'm not seeing them. But I knew full well that their passports had been renewed 6 months beforehand, so it wasn't a surprise present because fucking you planned this.
It was planned, yeah. But this is what's hard is, and listen, I can't speak for all men, but I can't, and I'm sure there's circumstances, and I know for a fact, I know how difficult it is when that kind of situation crops up. Now, I think it's different for you because you had 5 girls, you had 5 children. Yeah. For some men that I've heard stories from women who have, it may be the woman that's made the decision and the man has just been like, right, fine, I'm done. Cut, move on, move out, find someone new, start a whole new life and forgets about that child, which to me is mental. Like, I just don't know why you would do that. But I can understand it. No, I can't understand it. Because I'm wrong to say that I can understand it because I can't, because I would walk through fire to get to harbour. But it's 100%. like when you see this pressure that's put on men, and it's you're told, right, well, no, I've done this, and you just got to deal with it. Well, no, they're in Disneyland, but it's my weekend and I've paid money out. I might not have much money. I've paid my last amount of money out to take her to the cinema. It's cost me my last 30 quid, but you're taking us to Disneyland, and I've not been even consulted, and it's like we just have to deal with it. We have to deal with everything.
Suck it up. Suck it up. What I want,
get on with it,
and whatever I say is going to happen. And I could have argued, but I don't want to argue. I've been through that. Do you know what I mean? I've been through parents separating. I've watched bitterness. I've seen my dad remarry. My dad then split up. I saw my mum remarry. My mum split up. I mean, I was older then. My mum split up, and she's got someone else. And to be fair, like, a new partner, he's amazing. Like, he's great. And my girls called him Granddad because he'd been around long enough
Yeah.
You know? My dad, my dad saw Jade, my second eldest, when she was 6 months old. Never seen the others.
Oh, really? What? And that's it? She's...
Yeah. He'd never seen the other three that are younger. Because he's just a fucking arsehole, to be honest with you. Like, and I just got to that point where, again, this goes back to time and time again. I worked with him for a few years. So I was working for the electrical firm. He was working for the building firm, but there were two brothers that owned two different companies
Right.
who worked the same yard. And I still remember to this day where, you know, he's coming to the yard on a Monday morning. Bear in mind, he lived in London. I lived at the time, Offaly, Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
I remember him coming into the yard one day and saying he'd been out for a lovely meal with some woman on a date. And I was like, right. And he described this pub he'd been to for a meal that was 500 yards away from my house. Like, and then he's telling me that he can't come and see me at my kids, his grandkids, on the chance that my mum might be there. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of driven me when I split up with my ex, was like, no, I'm not going to be that shit, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's out of my control. It's like, I'd give the world for my kids. I did give the world for my kids when we were together. I'd still give the world for my kids now. And then it gets fucking harder and harder. Like, for me, I'd rebuilt my life. Like, this is where I've gone back into DJing. I DJed when I was a kid. I stopped. When I split up with her, I was a mess. I was a train wreck. And an old school friend that I DJed with actually reached out to me on social media and went, "You're coming out with me." And he was still DJing. So I went out with him a couple of nights while he was DJing, and that got me back into the DJing scene. And for me, I love it. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm lucky. I get paid for it on occasions, which is great. But it's, again, to this mental health thing, for me, we all have mental health issues. We just have to have a way of stopping the triggers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, you also have to have a way of, like I say, the kid scenario with me is it's always in my head.
Yeah.
Always in my head. No matter what I do, I can't, you know, if I take one of them to, well, I've got Lacey, who you met at Goat Fest last year, who DJ'd with me.
Incredible DJ. I'm not going to say she's better than you.
To be fair, mate, it is what it is. Like, but for me, that was almost like the pinnacle last year. I could quite happily not DJ'd again, because to say you've DJ'd on the festival stage with your 15-year-old daughter at the time, like, the emotions that went through me that night were just like,
the fact that it's a hobby, it's probably not just a hobby for you. It's probably a passion as well. Music is probably DJing's passion.
And it's escape. It's an escape. That
this is what I was going to say. While you're up there, and I watched some of your set, but just in between when I was trying to escape doing my own comedy set, I could see, like, you love being up there and you love being on the stage, and you look happy. And I'm all the conversations we've had, I know that we have struggles, but you do seem happy now. You do seem in a happier place. But on stage, you seem like a sort of different and elevated version of yourself, because music for a lot of people is an escape. I will sit and listen to music, but like, I will always have playlists on, and I will quite often, a song will just come along and it hits me, and it just gets me. There's two songs. I'll tell you the two songs, and I don't even know why I've got them in my playlist, but I also do know why I've got them in my playlist, because one of them just reminds me of my nan. Like, I was so close to my nan and my granddad, but this song reminds me of my nan, and as soon as it comes on, that first chord, I'm like, it's got me. It's called "Dancing in the Sky" by, I think, Beverly someone, and it's "Dancing in the Sky," and it's a really sad song to be sad. But then I just look up at the sky, and I don't want to feel sad all the time, but I also do want to remember my nan.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? You're like, oh.
That's the problem. And I sometimes, if I'm getting in the right headspace, like, and I had to do this yesterday because I went to record another podcast for someone else yesterday, and it might be the same for you when you're DJing. You sometimes have to get in the right zone. And I was just pulling up down the road to the studio, and it's James Arthur, Emily, which he sung a song about his little girl, and I was like, nope. I need to skip that. Cannot have that, because it will get me. It will get me when he starts singing her to sleep and stuff, and it just gets me. But music it does make you feel, doesn't it? So to have
music's
that,
massive. Like, the amount of people that I've worked with, associated with, obviously with DJing and this, that, and the other, the amount of DJs I know that suffer massively with mental health issues.
it's definitely not therapy.
I think any music is full of both emotions. 90% of the songs are either sad or the happiest things, and it depends on your own mindset.
Yeah.
You can see them as sad or you can see them as happy, and then that's having a better mindset as well. Like, are you a glass half empty or are you a glass half full kind of person? Now, I know prior to my separation, I was probably, glass half empty.
Okay.
But from doing what I did that night, I've obviously took myself to the basement and I've rebuilt myself, and then I've realised I know I can be negative. Listen, we can all be, and I'm not negative for the sake of being negative. I'm negative because I want to see positive outcomes of things. Do you know what I mean? So if I do an event and I think something's not right, I'm not being negative. I'm doing it because let's make this better. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's the problem with the day and age that we're in now. It's just you can't say something negative without everyone being like, oh, he's moaning again. And it's like, no, it's not moaning, but some people are just passionate about getting things right and doing things properly, or just have an opinion. Not everyone walks around on cloud nine all of the time, because if they are, then they should be in a mental hospital. I shouldn't say that. But you can't physically be that.
True.
You can't physically be that happy all the time. And so things go wrong in people's life. You can't possibly have trauma of any significant thing where you might, I don't know, we won't list things that are traumatic, but you can't have trauma and then just be happy from it. Like, you can come out the other side of it. And I'm a big believer that, okay, you can come out the other side thinking, right, that was really bad. What have I learned from that, and how can I better my life? And I'm all for that. Like, one of the books in about Ashley Walters, a friend of mine wrote it, and that's all about lessons of, okay, that went wrong and I failed, but what did I take from that makes me better and to move on? And I'm all for that. And I think sometimes we have to just say, yeah, okay, do you know what? We need to just have a little bit of a moan and a rant, and then we'll reset and we'll move forward.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you can't always be positive. You can't always be happy. We've all got issues that we're dealing with. We can mask them. It's about having the release. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky because I've got that release. I can go and DJ, or I can go and because I do sound controls or lighting controls or stage management.
Yeah.
And it's still only a hobby. I still got a full-time job. I still work Monday to Friday. Do you know what I mean? I just have to be busy as well. That's the thing. I don't sit down. I don't sleep. I don't. But what I do is I'll also listen to, I people watch. So if I go for a walk, I'll people watch. I quite happily sit down and, I did it a couple of weeks ago. I went for like a ridiculous 2.5 hour walk on the beachfront. I walked from Clacton to St. Osiers and back again. Just looking out at the sea and looking at people, and you're almost predicting what they're going to do. And I walk back again. I'm like, I was right.
Yeah,
they've done it. Like,
I'll make up stories for people. I'll make up like backgrounds for give them names and make up like what their lives are all about, just to give me something. I love people watching. I often just sit up at Blue Water, get myself a coffee, and just sit there for an hour and just like watch and just see what people are up to. Yeah,
I love it. I think you can learn a lot from people watching.
Yeah.
You can learn a hell of a lot from people watching.
Yeah,
like just see some of their actions or. I do it with the DJ, and you can see people that come in at the beginning of the night all prim and proper and this, and you're like, well, that's a fake attire. 4 drinks later, you're like, yeah, there you go. The real you is here.
The real you is here. That's often me, by the way. It's definitely not therapy.
I actually stopped drinking 18, 19, 20 months ago.
Well, good on you. It's a hard thing to do. For me, a lot of the advice that was thrown at me, and trust me, I had so many messages that were sent to me when I posted that video about what happened. But the one that kept coming through was, whatever you do not go down the route of drink and all of this and do all these other things. So I didn't, and I purposely stepped away. But I'll have like a night now and again. But so what made you stop drinking? What was there a reason?
I've never been a big drinker. I like a drink, and I can have a drink, and I can have a massive blowout. I used to be able to have a massive blowout. I was quite fortunate, if it makes sense, is that I've got a good alcohol tolerance, so I could not drink for months and months and months, and I could go and keep up with the boys and have a full night out. And I'm not one that's 3 drinks in and you're paralytic. For me, it was when we split up and when I did what I did. Like I say, I'd gone on this. I didn't know where I was. I was just drinking.
Yeah,
I wasn't getting smashed at all. So it weren't me, but it was.
It became a coping mechanism.
Yeah, keep yourself busy. Go out, and then mates would find out and they're going, "Come and have a drink. Come and have a drink. Come and have a drink." And it's like, that's great because I'm socialising with you and we're having a drink and you're keeping me occupied. But what happens is, of course, alcohol is no different to any other drug. It's a stimulant.
Yeah.
So once you've had that high, you're coming down.
Yeah.
So I semi-stopped drinking. Then I started 2 years ago. A friend of mine's opened a cocktail bar, and of course I was DJing in there. Have a drink, have another one. Cool, no dramas, not a problem. Get a taxi, come home, blah blah blah. And then something happened. Something happened with Lacey, my youngest, and I was literally like, well, she said, I'm not going to see you for the next 2 weeks. I've got to study for exams. And I was like, and it almost, that was like another trigger of, well, hang on a minute. I've got Charlie don't talk to me. Jade don't talk to me. Jasmine, who is one of my identical twins, she doesn't talk to me because I saw her when we separated and up till 3 years ago. And then her other sister, her identical twin sister, decided she couldn't live at home anymore and moved out. So it was like, fuck. And then there became a divide between them two. Jasmine then decided at that point that I don't want nothing to do with you, Dad. I mean, the words from her was, you've clearly got your favourite.
Oh, wow.
I want nothing to do with you. And it was like, well, no, I haven't got a favourite. I told her there is no favourite. Like, there is no favourite in any of my kids. Like, but Lily's moved out. Lily's not run away from home, but decided she don't want to be there. Yeah. Because of clearly the environment. And I know it was because we had that conversation. And I speak to Lily. Lily's now moved to Devon.
Oh, okay.
Right. So at 16 years old, she decided to move out of home and moved into a farm in our village because that's where she spent a lot of time through lockdown because of the horses and everything else. And Jazz was there as well. Whatever happened, Lil decided she didn't want to be at home anymore because she was sick and tired of hearing me bad-mouthed and bits and pieces. And she was like, no, fuck off, he's my dad. Like, yeah. I'm done. I can't be here. And then Jazz decided to stop talking to me. So I've then got 3 daughters I've lost.
Because that's your fault. Because you've then taken the blame for that, even though you're not even in the environment.
It was my fault. Lily moved out, and I've got a favourite because I'm spending more time with her. Well, I wasn't actually spending more time with her, but there was a belief put in that I was. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So then, obviously, I'm then in the cocktail bar, and then I've had Lacey say, "I'm not seeing you for 2 weeks," and nobody knows. Nobody knows the reason why I stopped drinking. I tell everybody it's because I'm always working and I don't want to have a drink and I don't want to. So you're the first one that I'm telling the truth to. And I just felt at that point, I was a mess. And I'd gone to the cocktail bar and they were like, come on, have a drink. And I did. And I had 2 or 3 shots and a drink. And then the next morning I got up and I was like, no, I'm lower than I could never be. Like,
because that massive calm down. The hangover, the calm down.
Yeah, I just felt it. I just felt like no. This is fucked my emotions.
Yeah,
like I'm low. I'm now feeling shit. Lily's in Devon, like, which is that was a massive thing. It was almost an 18-month process about her moving because they were selling where she was living. They were selling the farm, and they only wanted one particular place that they were buying. And then that sort of like fell through. Then it didn't. Then the sales didn't. So it was an 18-month period where I didn't know what I was going to have to do. Yeah. And I think, like I said to you, at Goat Fest, when we met, and I said to you, do you know what time? Again, that time will come round, and you. I think you said to me, "Oh, I don't know what's going to happen." And I said, "I feel exactly the same, mate. But I'd met someone new." Yeah. And I met someone new out of the blue. Like, truthfully, I didn't want to meet anybody. I got happy with myself. So this was end of lockdown, and I got happy with myself because I spent lockdown pretty much on my own in this little gaff. Like, it's a converted garage. Like, so it's my little den. I spent enough time in lockdown on my own. And then I met her, and it was like, Jesus Christ, I am worthy, and someone loves me. Like,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. But I still had that whole, like, with Lily, is she moving? Is she not moving? She didn't want to go to Devon. So then I'm instantly like, fuck, right, I've got to get out of this place. I've got to find at least a 2-bedroom property.
Yeah.
Because she's going to have to come and move in with me and this and that. And it was only literally the day before they were due to go that she decided to go, because we had a conversation and I said, go. I don't want you to go.
Yeah.
But I want you to go because you probably need to get away from this environment. Because it must have been, for her, it must have been turmoil. 16 years old. She's moved out of home. You know, almost instantly, the family stopped talking to her. Like, her sister's not talking to her. She's got your chit messages to her, and you're and like just bitterness. And I said to her, go. If you don't like it, come back.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, I'll find somewhere for you to live. We'll do it. You can get the nans for a short period of time if you have to, or you know, we'll deal with it. And again, she's down there, so I'm then isolated. I'm on my own. Like, Lacey's not seeing me. And I've gone into that almost spiral because of drink. And then I just got up that day after having that skin when I went, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because I don't need to be put in a hole. And I don't mean physically, but I mean mentally. I don't want to be put in that hole. I'm just controlling my emotions about not seeing the kids. I don't want an influence to do it.
Yeah. Because something like that can push you over the edge. You can put yourself in a mind frame that you just don't want to be in. You end up going off the rails even more. It's a bad path to go down. So fair, I respect you for that massively, because you've done that of your own accord. And it's not as if you've, you know, drunk so much you've passed out and you're like, right, I can't do that again. You've literally just had that thought of, I just want a clear mind. I just want to manage my emotions. So yeah, I respect you for that.
I got up in the morning and was like, no, I can feel my feeling going low. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, no. So removed that from the equation, which is what I did. And I don't need to have a drink to have a good time.
No.
I quite happily socialise. And I still got people going, fucking boring bastards. Call me what you want.
Yeah, that's it. I think when you get to a certain age, though, you just don't care anyway. Like, I'm older now, and if I go out and someone's like, oh, you're not doing shots? No, I do what I want. I do what I want. Like, I'm an adult. I don't need to be peer pressured into drinking an apple sours at 2:00 in the morning. Like, I'm good.
I've probably been called a lot worse over the last 7 years.
I can cope with a mate who's going to get over it. It's definitely not therapy. How's your mental health like now? Right now. You've obviously been through it, and I appreciate you opening up. But how are you now?
I'm good. I know when I'm having a bad day.
Yeah. What's your coping mechanism when you are having a bad day? What do you do to reset?
Exercise was one. I hit the gym massively, and then I stopped. And then actually, at the beginning of this year, I did a charity boxing match because I actually challenged myself to go, do you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to be around. And when I signed up to it, as soon as I went there and met up with 3 or 4 people that had signed up as well, they were all the same. It was like, right, we're going to do a fitness thing, but we're also going to all had some form of mental health issue or something. Well, yeah, they're all mental health issues. We've all got mental health issues. You overthink something, it's a mental health issue. Every single one of us on this planet has got it. It's just how we deal with it. So for me, that was I wanted to raise money for cancer research because I've had friends that have died. My landlord died of cancer, so I felt like I wanted to do something for him in the process. And also, it was a reason to get back and do exercise. Do you know what I mean? So I was training twice a week in the boxing gym, but I was going out at 5:00 every morning.
Wow.
For a jog around my village to do bits and pieces. So it's exercise and reflection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said to you, I went to the beach and walked up and down the beach and just watched people and watched the sea and watched water.
So for me, the two things are I sort of get to do the two things. I combine them because actually I've started going to the gym, and for me, it's partly for fitness. Of course, it is. You're going to a gym, but for me, it is also actually just to have that little bit of tranquility where I've not got my phone. I'm just in the gym. I'm just working out. I don't have to worry about like anyone around me, and I can go and sit in the steam room and like no one talks, and it's just and my mind is, and sometimes you overthink, which is bad, but I've tried to control that and use it for positive thinking. We're working on a couple of, obviously ours just been launched, Perfectly Damaged, which is a film or a series that I was in. We're working on a new project together, and I'm trying to keep my social media career going. So I use that time now where I'm sat there to be like, what can I think of? Like, what positive ideas can I think of? And the people watching for me really helps. That's where all my ideas used to come from. I'd watch people and I'd be like, they've just done that. But what if he didn't do that? And what if he did this? And I'd be that person that would then make that video, like the alternative.
There's nothing funnier than people, is there, really?
Yeah.
I actually did it. I did it, not yesterday, Saturday. I did an event Saturday, and there was a DJ due on after a band. And we wait inside the stage, honestly, and I've never seen it in my life. Like, everyone goes and does a little bit of prep, put a new t-shirt on, do this, make sure your hair's on. And he got a toothbrush out of his car and cleaned his teeth at the side of the freaking car before we went on stage. And I was just like, I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
Wow.
Like, no one's going to see your teeth up on the stage. Like, I've turned the smoke machine on anyway, so you're all right. But yeah, people.
Yeah. Funny, no. The other thing I was gonna ask, and this is gonna be, I don't know how to word this question. It's a difficult one, but obviously, for you, the biggest thing is you've not spoken to 3 of your girls. What do you want to happen? Like, what would be your dream scenario? And I know it's so obvious to say, well, I want my 3 girls to talk to me, but like, what does that look like? What?
That's a hard one. What does it look like? I don't know. Like I said to you the other day when we had this conversation, and I said, I've rebuilt my life completely. I'm doing completely different things, but doesn't feel complete. I've built a big model. Yeah, I've got this little world, a DJ. I've got a new partner, and I'm doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. But no matter what, it's like I've got a big Lego model, and there's 3 bits missing at the bottom, and it's never feeling complete.
Yeah.
I've stepped back. I stepped back. I was told, you've tried too hard. You've pushed her away regarding Jade. You've not tried enough. That's why she don't want nothing to do with you. Well, what do I do? There's an imbalance here. Like, I've tried too hard. I'm not done too hard. I've got no formal contact. I could make contact if I wanted to make contact.
Okay.
I don't want to feel like I've pressured them. I don't know their mobile phone numbers. They've all changed their mobile phones. I'm blocked on social medias. It's kind of like that. I still know 90% of what they get up to, especially Jasmine and Jade, because I've got a world around me that are like, well, they've been up to this, they've been up to that, blah, blah, blah. So, but
it's not the same though, is it? It's not the same as you having that conversation and then phoning
again,
you.
Like I said, I think I did say it to you. Like with Jade, like 7 years, I've missed her GCSE results. I've missed her passing her driving test. I've missed her passing her bike test. I've missed her doing, her first job, the first boyfriend she's had a row with. I didn't get to see her go to prom. Now, that's freaking ridiculous. What is the ideal scenario? The ideal scenario is that they know that I love them. They mean the world to me. And there's 2 sides to every single story. Whatever happened between me and their mum, there are 2 sides, and then there's the middle. And somewhere amongst there, that they're old enough to have both sides of a story and to make their own opinion. Like, for me, I just feel like they've had a lot of stuff thrown in their ears from one side and they've not heard the other side. Give me a chance.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. Have a conversation. I'm not going to say there's right and wrongs. I can safely say I'll put my hands up. I've never, ever badmouthed their mum to them, around them, and this, because I don't need to. I heard that when I was a kid.
Well, this is it. You've experienced that.
Our issues are our issues. Their issues are not, between me and them.
Well, also, it's not about right. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about right or wrong. Like, you're their dad. See, like, you're their dad. She's their mum. There is no right or wrong. It's you just want a relationship with them. It's just as easy as that.
Yeah, there's not a minute of every day, you know what I mean? I don't think about them.
Yeah.
They live in the same village as me, Dan. They drive past me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's times where I want to just pull the car across the road and stop. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to make them feel awkward. So I've kind of gone, okay, you've made your decision. I have to respect your decision. Like, as much as... But
there'll be a point that you have to think, I don't think you'd be able to... There has to be a point where it changes, where something clicks, and I think you just have to be there when they're ready to do that.
I'm always there. I'll be there. Like I said to you, anytime they this, that, and the other. Like, I send them a birthday card. I send them a Christmas card every year. Every year I've sent them a birthday card and a Christmas card because that's all I feel that I could have done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have done more. I could have done more, but I beat myself up every day because I don't want rejection.
Yeah, that's it. And you do, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
I tried and got rejected. And then I mean, looked at old social media posts not too long ago where a memory came up and I posted something and it was like 3 little words mean so much. And it was where I'd sent, and I know what it was, I'd sent Jade a birthday card and I got a Facebook messenger saying thank you. And that you know, I mean, that was 5 years, 4 years, 5 years ago. I don't know, can't remember, but I almost thought that was a stepping stone, and then there's silence again. Do you know what I mean? And I want them to know I haven't not made contact with them because I want to be an arsehole. I've not made contact with them because I'm respecting your decision.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I'd love them just to message me. You know, let's go for a coffee. Let's go for a walk. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to build a relationship back with them. Like, they're my world. It doesn't make any difference. Whatever's happened, like, I get relationships separate. Like, kids shouldn't have to be taking sides, and it shouldn't affect anybody. Like, I don't want nothing to do with their mum. That's fine. Like, that's life. She made her decision. Like, so I respect her decision. I don't agree with her decision, but you know what? I've rebuilt my life, and I'm lucky I've been able to do something that I lost because of the family life that I had. So obviously the DJing has stopped it. So I now do stuff for myself, probably a bit too much, and I don't do things for other people when I should do. Like, but how do you manage that balance? I don't know.
It's having that balance, but I think the fact that it's even that you've even had that thought that, you know, you'll at some point find that happy balance, but you seem in a much better place anyway.
I'm happy. I'm in a good place. Like, we all have our ups and downs. Like, I know you have your ups and downs, and that's what I say. I reach out to you, and I've had other people reach out to me. The whole we need to talk thing. Sometimes I think people need to just retract sometimes, because I remember people saying to me, come on. And like I've done with you when I've messaged you, and I know you've come back with a reply, and it's almost like a reply as if to say, like, I am, but I'm not, but I'm dealing with it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's different. Yeah,
me, that's exactly the same. It's like, I know there's somebody there.
Yeah, that's it. It's just knowing. Sometimes it's just knowing, actually, I'm okay because someone cares enough to have asked, and sometimes that is enough. Sometimes that is just enough.
Exactly that. So no, I'm good. I'm in a happy place. I am good. You know, life's busy. There's things I could change. I would change. There's things I wouldn't change. But isn't that everybody for the rest of our life? Do you know what I mean? We all do the same things. We could all change things. And well, look, I will say I'm me.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's good that
you hate me either way.
You're comfortable in your own skin, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, I always like to end on something that's a little bit more, a bit like, because these episodes can be quite heavy. You know, we're talking about some really dark things. So I like to end on something a bit more positive. So I always like to ask if, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, but whether you've got a funny joke or something that's happened to you in the last couple of weeks or couple of months or whenever that's funny, that's made you laugh, and it's...
So you're just trying to write your script, aren't you?
No, that's all I'm doing now. I'm getting ideas for the script. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Do you know what? For me, I don't know. Like, jokes, I'm not a jokey type of, but there are ones that stick in my mind, and it's like, you know, what would you call a lesbian dinosaur?
Yeah, Diloclopus. I mean, it's a classic. It is a classic.
And they just, it's silly things. Like I say, for me, it's actions that make me laugh. And that's funny.
Well, funny enough, you said something already that I thought, that would have been perfect, because you said it. You said that you was the DJ.
Yeah,
you saw it cleaning his teeth outside of his car. That would have been perfect. So I thought, he's ruined himself there because he's already said it. But
I'm kind of like, I'm one of them people that likes it's actions that are funny rather than words. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense. Rather than hearing a worded joke, it's something that's happened. Yeah. And I don't know, probably with doing what I do, you see it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Dance floors and people at bars and drunken people at festivals and this and the other. How you remember it, I think a lot of the time it's situation comedy and you can't reenact it.
Definitely not therapy.
Be happy with you, yourself, and what's most important to you. Yeah. Don't worry about anybody else around you and strive to be anybody else or like anybody else. You don't need to have the latest car. You don't have to have the latest phone. You don't have the latest this. You know what I mean? Be content. Enjoy.
Well, Jimmy Carr said it, didn't he? He said if it's like all these things that we spend our lives building and collecting and spending our money on because they mean so much to us, like we'll this big house, these, this equipment, these new phones, a nice car. Well, actually, do you know, in 100 years, no one's even going to know that you existed in that, which is horrible. It's quite morbid, but actually, and I've probably got the quote wrong, but it's about things. These things don't matter, but actually the memories do matter. The memories matter that you make, and the people. That
is it, 100%. Memories make difference. I've said it to you, didn't I, with things like with Harper.
Yeah.
Make them memories.
Yeah.
With me, Lacey DJing that day. That's a memory that no one can take away.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one can take away. I could give her the most, I'll buy the latest tracksuit, the latest trainers. They're dirty within 24 hours.
Yeah. Mate, but honestly, I have it with Harper when I see she's the age she is, she gets spoiled. But you know what? I've sometimes given her something.
My two that talk to me get spoiled. Like Lacey will message me, Dad, can you put £10 on the card?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put the card.
But that's sometimes it's like she'll get given all these things. It'll be Christmas or birthday or just a day when there's been a brand deal and it's like, oh, you've got all these things. She'll be just as happy. I bought her a 25p lolly. And she's like, oh my God, Daddy, it's strawberry flavour. I love you so much. And it's like, you can't take that away.
As an adult, we strive to buy them everything that they want.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
And actually, you don't.
I don't need it.
As a kid, you probably remember as a kid, Christmas, what did you do? Argos catalogue come out and the biro and you circled everything.
Yeah.
It turned up.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't change your life in any way. It makes okay, you've got things but yeah, it's I don't know. This is a whole other podcast.
I remember with mine at Christmas, like the piles of Christmas presents. You can't get in the living room. You're unpacking them. You're throwing it all in the bin. It's all in a bag. And come the middle of March, you're unpacking that bag and finding stuff that's never been played with.
Yeah. We were finding stuff that's never even been opened at Christmas. Yeah. We saved it for the following year. It's just that's what. It's okay to spoil them, but I think it's.
Of course it is.
I think it's nice to have those memories. Like you said it earlier, those memories.
Memories in the world. Yeah. Memories in the world. I do it now. Like Lily, she's in Devon. She phones me twice a day. Like honestly, generally, she's like my little best mate.
Yeah.
She'll phone me twice a day, and I'm like, "You're on your way home from work," because she does like morning and afternoon shifts, and I'm like, "You're on your way home from work." Yeah. While she's driving, and I'm like, "I know, kid. Thank you. I'm at work as well, but I don't get a break in the day." Like, but I love the calls. I love the calls.
That's it.
Nothing conversations. But,
yeah. Well, I hope that that happen. I hope that me and Harper have that. I think so. One of the things I struggle with, just being completely honest, is, and look, I am very grateful the amount of time I get with my little girl, because I do get a lot more time with her than other people. So sometimes I do feel a bit selfish, even having any sort of a moan about my situation. But like ultimately, pain is pain. Everyone struggles, but for me, it's her age. The age of like when we split, she was 3, she's only 4 now, she's about to turn 5. And my whole thing is like, what her first memory? What if I can't control it, but what if her first memory is not even with her dad? It's not with me, it's with some random person that's not even in her life anymore when she's older.
I think I said that to you, Dan, didn't I? We're all like it. I look back as a kid, obviously, because my parents separated and I've got these memories and that memories. I remember doing things with my dad, as much as I say he was a fucking arsehole, and that's sorry to say, but he is. And I've got memories of doing things with him, which I remember of good times.
Yeah.
I've got memories of stuff with, my mum. They're good times. My parents are separated. I'd like to think my kids have got memories of me and their mum together from a young age, because I remember stuff when I was 6. I don't remember really anything that my mum and dad together, but
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Exactly what you're saying is exactly like my fear. Like you're saying, like, well, from the age of like 6 was my first memory, 5, 6. Well, Harper's not even that age yet, so she's never going to remember mummy and daddy together. She's only going to ever remember some strangers in their lives.
We also live in a world where kids are more open, more knowledgeable. I know with Lacey, like when me and her mum split up, she had a friend, one of her best friends, had parents that had split up. of the same age, like, and they'd split up a long time before, probably 4 years before I'd split up with Lacey, and I know that they talked. So she'd said to Lacey, "It's all good, it's fine." Do you know what I mean? Okay, it's two worlds you're going to have, but in the same context, like you can't do anything about that.
No, I know, but I think that's my struggle. Is that my struggle is like I know everything will be okay. Like I know this, but I also just think, why should you have to follow suit with everyone being like, oh, like you're going to have 2 bedrooms and you're going to have 2 Christmases. Why is that a good thing? That's not a good thing. A good thing is having mummy and daddy together. But I can't because I'm against that and I didn't want it. So now I'm like, why the fuck?
I was the same. I remember, right, this is something and I hate this. I frigging hate this. When I split up with their mum, and I can't remember if it was just after. Anyway, it was a couple of weeks after, and she said to me, we ain't ever getting back together again. We need to tell the girls properly. Well, okay. So I went round and we sat there. Lacey was 9, the twins 13, and told them. And I remember the words that come out of Lacey's mouth, and it ripped my fucking heart out, and it does now, because I think it's something I blocked out, and it's something that came back to me a couple of weeks ago. And I remember Lacey saying, "Am I still going to call you daddy?" And that fucking killed me.
Yeah.
Like I had to walk out. Out. But because she was a little kid, she's not going to understand.
They don't understand that. That's the problem. They don't understand what they're saying, because they're trying to make sense of it. And I've had it, and I was thrown in a situation where Harper was in the bath. She'd asked a question, and it was like, "Oh, right, can you come here and you need to come here and talk to Harper, Daddy?" And it was like, "Oh, so Mummy and Daddy are going to live in separate houses?" And I'm like, I'm not fucking prepared for this. Like, what?
Yeah, but you're never prepared for it.
But it's like, I didn't know it was happening. And then another time, and it broke, mate. Funny enough, I think I was coming. This is what happened. This is what happened when I was coming to Goatfest. This is what happened. And I fucking blocked it out. This is what happened. Genuinely, and I cried all the way driving to Goatfest. I had to park around the corner before I'm out with Al to sort myself out, because just before I was walking out the door, I had my backpack on. I was wearing my fucking my cold thing. I was all like cool, festival vibey, looked like a dick.
I don't know if it was cool. But...
And no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And Harper said to me, I was just about to leave, and Harper said, "Oh fuck, I don't even know if I'll be able to say it." She said, "Daddy," she said, "are you still going to be my daddy?" Yeah. And it fucking, mate. And then she said, "So am I going to have 2 mummies now and 2 daddies?" And I was just fucking, mate. Because I had to this, and I was meant to be going and doing comedy that night, and that's why I was in my head.
I totally get it, mate. I totally get it.
And I was like, "No, baby, no. Like, you will only ever have one daddy. I'll always be your daddy. I'm never going to go anywhere." But I had to compose myself. But I walked out the front door, and I was fucking a bit. I was walking up the road, crying my eyes out, like a fucking grown man.
I did it for 2 years. I literally did it for 2 years after we split up. Honestly, I saw the girls like as regularly as I could, twice, 3 times a week. Maybe they stayed with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, they stayed here in this place with me. Like they were top and tailing on the sofa. I had a camp bed in here, and trying to make the best of both worlds. And then, lockdown came around, which was the best thing for me, because it managed to ground me. But no, I did it. I'd get in the car sometimes, and I'd just fucking cry my eyes out. I am non-emotional, but very emotional.
Yeah.
I don't show emotion to anybody, and then I'll do it on my own.
Yeah. And but I was very much. I think
I knew today I was going to show emotion, and I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to, but I won't do it.
Yeah, so. I think I am sort of similar. I think like when I posted that video online that everyone apparently has seen, it wasn't for that reason. That was for me. It was for my own, so I can look back on it. It wasn't for anyone else. But I just had to have this release. I had to get it out.
Other people's opinions mean jack shit because they're opinions.
Yeah,
and they are opinions, because you would have had, I don't know, 500 messages telling you, "Mate, well done." 500 messages saying, "And that's embarrassing, you're a dick." Well, do you know what? That's your opinion. That is your opinion, and I couldn't give a shit about your opinion, because if you feel that was what you needed,
that
is what you needed.
I feel like at the time it was the right thing and the wrong thing to do. I feel like I had to do something. But when I
never
tell you,
questioned it.
I probably received, I think I received over 15,000 messages in a week. Like, can you imagine the weight? I was like, I didn't, not for a good, because I just wanted to curl up in a ball and hide.
So I bet some of them are great and some of them are fucking
It was about whether you get 202, what you're going to get 50%. You're going to get one person say, well done. You're going to get one person say, man up. And but I had that on just such a scale that I've not read. Of course, I've not read. That's a silly amount of messages. I've not read them all.
But you know what? Did you feel that you needed to do it and it was a release?
I feel like I had to do something. Yeah, it was never the intention. But
so do you know what? Anyone else's opinion means jack diddly shit.
Yeah. I had to do something.
You feel that was the right thing to do, and that's what you did. Then that's what you do. And that's why I think, again, with men and our mental health is we question everything. Should I really do that? Should I really do that? Is someone going to think I'm a bit of a weirdo for doing that? Do you know what? No. Who gives a shit?
It's funny because I saw this. I've got this analogy, but I was with Al and Scully Dad we was at Fort Park. We was invited there for an event, which was amazing. It was like lovely to go to these things. And I remember having this moment. There was this girl. She set her camera up and she's doing a TikTok dance. And we all sort of looked and we're like, oh, she's doing a TikTok dance. And she was doing this dance and everyone was around. And then we all just carried on with our lives. And we're like, it doesn't matter. No one gives a fuck. No one cares what you do. She's out there dancing in front of loads of people. We've looked and thought, oh, she's doing a dance. And then we're cracking on with whatever we're doing. And actually, I just thought, no one cares. No one cares, do they? Yeah. No one. I had it I had it on a massive scale when, I don't know if you remember, the day the Queen died. And this for me was quite, look, I'm not really into the royal family or anything. I'm not going to get deep about the royal family. But the point was, for me, the Queen has been she's been a consistent through everything, through all politics, through everything that goes on in life. The Queen has always been the Queen, right? And then I was in London the day after she died. And it was like this thing. And I was near Buckingham Palace. And I was at a train station and just everyone was just cracking on with their day. And I was like, even the Queen's died. But everyone just has to get on with it. And it's like, yeah, of course we do. Of course we fucking do.
Exactly that. And that is the same with, like I say, you did what you did, and you'll still have just clowns that want to make comments about it. But listen, it's what I did out of sheer desperation. You know, I'm embarrassed as shit about what I did because I feel I'm a fucking knob because I've actually taken the chance of my children having a dad away, because that's me just trying to take the earlier route. But then I learned from it. And I learned, actually, no, you need to be a better person. Like, be there for people. And that's why, like I say, when I do what I do, if I do a stage, if I do a festival, I want to do everything to the best of my body to produce for somebody else.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, I've done a festival gig and everyone's had danced their night away. Next week, they can't remember diddly shit that happened that week. But for 10 minutes.
But you know that you've done that for that 10 minutes, yeah. Fair enough. Well,
it's giving me a release. And what I say is, and I say it to a lot of people, you can't change yesterday. You can't control tomorrow. You can only influence it. You can only live for today. I've only got control of what's happening now.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what happened last week, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're over. They're done. They're actions. Tomorrow you can only influence. So do it.
Yeah.
Influence it, but influence it in a positive way, because we need more positive in as well, because
and we only
in a negative world.
We're only here once, so yeah. Fair enough. Well, look, Wayne, on that note, just because the camera's equipment's going to end in a second, but mate, thank you for coming on the podcast, mate. I appreciate it. I appreciate
mate, thank you. Like I say, it's something I've wanted to do for ages, because I ain't got the answer to everybody, but I've also got ways that I've dealt with it, and I hope somebody can listen to this, watch this, and actually go, do you know what? Life isn't that bad. We can get over stuff.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
Or under your own control, but just be there for people. You don't necessarily have to hear them. They just have to know that they've got someone if they need to.
Yeah. It's definitely not therapy. I mean, what can I say? Wayne was rock bottom, and he was in the worst possible situation, trying to end his own life because he couldn't take losing his family, which is the biggest reason that men die by suicide, is losing their families, losing time with their children. And it's heartbreaking. the worst possible outcome was his child seeing him on the floor with paramedics around him trying to save his life. And in one respect, his life was saved, which is amazing because he's still here now to tell the tale. But on the flip side of that, you'd never ever wish for your child to see you in that or any kind of situation similar to that. You can't even understand the trauma that must have done. I think Wayne clearly feels regret for that. Also proud that he's come out the other side and he's in a happy place. And I'm pleased that he is here. Of course, I'm pleased that he's here. It just goes to show sometimes, you don't know when these things are going to hit you, and we need to have the tools better prepared to deal with it. That's it for this episode of Definitely Not Therapy. And if you cried, laughed, smiled, or just felt slightly uncomfortable, then we've done our job. Make sure to follow, subscribe, leave a review if you can, and perhaps share this with someone who feels alone right now, because that might make them just feel less alone. There's someone else going through the same thing as them. Whatever your story might be, whether it's co-parenting issues, divorce, breakups, heartbreak, anything that goes unspoken, things that you feel like you can't talk about, come and talk to me about them. Let's help to spread some awareness. All you need to do is email me at onlydanlawrence@gmail.com or DM me on any of my social media platforms. Dan Lawrence on Facebook, Dan Lawrence Comedy on Instagram, or Definitely Not Therapy Pod on Instagram. I'm Dan Lawrence, and I'll see you next time.